I think you already know who my dad is, and I think you already know who my sister is, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how many of you have noticed me walking around here tonight, or seen me walking around at church? Does anyone notice I look a little different? Anyone? Don't be afraid. Okay. Well, you are correct. I was born with this muscle disorder, this brain disorder called cerebral palsy. And what that is, it affects your brain, it affects all these functions of your brain, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you eat, all that. I was born in Riga, Latvia, to an alcoholic birth mother. She was, and we suspect that due to her alcoholism during her pregnancy with me, is the reason why I have cerebral palsy. The state came in, and they determined that she was unable to take care of me. So they placed me in an orphanage. Well, that was good for me. They took me away from my mother, which at the time was all I knew. So when they put me in the orphanage, they put me away with the people that were of my age, however months old I was, and because they knew I had something different with me. So when I was about 2, my parents adopted me and Katie from Latvia. You buy one get one 35% off, I believe. And so they brought me to America. Now, being in America was literally a whole new world for me. Tastes were different, sights were different, smells were different, sounds were different, all that. I had no idea what to do. I didn't talk for almost a year after coming to America. When I did start talking, I only whispered. You remember that, Dad? Mm-hmm. And so it was really hard for me to learn how to talk. And when I was 5 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Now that stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. And I think you've seen some of the HD part. Maybe some of the AD too. I'm not sure. And as its name implies, is just that. I do have problems keeping my attention, and I do have problems not being able to stay still. So that was another challenge for me. And as most people do when they have either a disability or have surgery, they have physical therapy or some type of therapy to help them either like recover from to help them be able to I don't know how to say it, to be able to do more normal things, I guess, than with your disability than you are without. I will never, or my parents will never forget the name of this lady, because what she said at the time, I guess, I don't know, shocked my parents. This lady's name was Minnie Toby. She said that I would never walk, ever. What am I doing today?
Walk.
Exactly. I proved her wrong. When I was about 14, I was also diagnosed with an emotional disorder. To this day, my dad, I believe, is in denial of it. And this emotional disorder that I have, it makes it harder for me to be able to make and keep friends. I believe it was also caused by me when I was first born by my birth mother not holding me. all she did, I guess, was with me was just put me in a basket, wrap me up in clothes, and just throw me in the closet and just leave me there for who knows how long. So that was yet another challenge I had to deal with. I guess you could say my life hasn't been easy. And I guess
Mommy.
that's right. And my brain, with the CT, it affects my brain. It's harder for me to process information. So it takes a bit longer for me to process some stuff that would take you 30 seconds to understand. And that also, my brain also is hard for me to be able to know how to make friends and keep friends. My mouth, I have a bit of it. Whenever I hear myself talk, like if I'm on TV or something, my voice sounds so much weird. I have a hard time swallowing food. I've had speech therapy for as long as I can remember, or for most of my life. This CT has also affected my hands, my legs, and my feet. And I think you know how it affects my legs and my feet. With my hands, my writing is not that legible. I've taken occupational and physical therapy to help me be able to write better and to be able to walk better. What does all of this mean for me? Well, it's hard for me to make and keep friends. And throughout most of my life, people around me were like, don't hang out with him, he's the weirdo. And people have been afraid of being seen with me. I think I've only been asked once in my life to be a friend of mine has asked me to hang out with him. And it's really hard. When I was a junior in high school, I believe, I had rocks thrown at me, and I was spit on because of how I am. And why am I here tonight? Am I here to tell you that? Am I here to tug at your heart and make you cry? No. No. I'm here to tell you. And in spite of all the difficulties that I've had, I see God in my life. He didn't want to bring me in. He didn't bring me in this world to be abandoned, to be left alone. He didn't want me to have a pity party for myself. He loved me as if I was the only one to be loved. I know He had a plan for me. He was the one that brought my parents into my life. He brought my brothers and my sisters into my life. He's brought me here to you all to tell you that God has a plan for you, God has a plan for me, God has a plan for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're tall or short. It doesn't matter if you're short or if you're fat or skinny. It doesn't matter if you're a jock or if you're a nerd. It doesn't matter if you're happy or sad, if you're rich or poor. He loves each and every one of you as if you were the only one to love. And so we just did that activity on love and acceptance, and that God is love and He loves us all. Thank you.